What's up, people? J-Dub here, and you are now tuned in to Pro Wrestling Talk Radio, the show where wrestling fans rate and debate the hottest topics in the world of wrestling. I'm joined on the hosting panel tonight by David.
What's up, people?
Charlie.
Hello.
And Stu.
Oh my god, I love Madonna.
Oh, come on now.
And I just want to let everybody know before we get into the show, we have a co-host from New York and a co-host from New England on with us right now. So if you hear any hollering or arguing, if it's not about CM Punk, likely it's going to be about the Super Bowl. So
okay, I don't care what the outcome
We are the
was.
champions. No time for losing, because we are the champions of the world.
You know what, guys?
Your 9 teams have won 3 titles in 10 years.
This whole show is
blah, 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 blah.
And Eli Manning's still a disrespectful, classless bitch who used his father to manipulate the NFL.
And my man won the MVP? Come on, bro.
Okay. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's move on to the wrestling.
About the Super Bowl is up on PWFempire.com.
Let's move on to the wrestling now and more arguing. We're going to start off with the latest episode of Monday Night Raw. A lot of things went down on the show. Let's start off with our favorite topic of discussion here on PWF Empire. CM Punk. He had a confrontation with Chris Jericho on the latest episode of Monday Night Raw. Chris Jericho called him out. Chris Jericho basically called every member of the Raw Elimination Chamber, all wannabe Chris Jericho's, called them carbon copies of him. He says CM Punk is the worst offender of the bunch. CM Punk comes down to the ring, holds up the WWE Championship, doesn't say a word at all, and walks off. David, what did you think about that moment with CM Punk and Chris Jericho?
I thought it was an okay comeback. It was kind of like, a lot of people are tired of the Chris Jericho thing. Coming in, being quiet, and then all of a sudden now he wants to talk and stuff. I was expecting this work shoot, of course, to be a lot more aggressive. I thought that it was going to be like, oh my God, dude, did he really just say that? But, it was nothing out of the ordinary. Exactly what I expected. But I'm just glad to see Chris Jericho back in the ring. And, I got goosebumps seeing him hold the WWE Championship. But anyway, Punk, your new shirt, dude, it sucks. Dude, really, just change it. Anyway, as far as what Punk did, I wouldn't have really booked it any different. I'm not a booker myself, but it was a nice promo. Just not what I expected it to be.
I thought it was great. I thought Punk coming out and just holding up the title, saying, you know what, you think you're the best in the world the way you do? Well, I'm the WWE champion. That's my argument. That's all I need. Hell of a cliffhanger. Hell of a way to start off the feud. And we've got a lot of time for this to progress, so I think this is a good starting point.
I thought it was awesome. This was a really, really freaking good segment. Jericho finally, he comes out talking to CM, and he directs it towards CM Punk, who, quite frankly, has made a name for himself by running his mouth, and as well as his in-ring work, but that's a whole other story. He comes out and says nothing. It's like a role reversal. I really should enunciate more. And it worked perfectly. It really, really worked. And I'm shocked that WWE actually pulled that one out of their hat, because that's one of the things that I probably would have wanted them to do, but I was like, no, they're probably just going to dilute it with another 15-minute promo or something like that. But really, sometimes less is more, and it worked out in this instance.
That's the perfect phrase to use, Stu. Less is more, and I really enjoyed that segment. Chris Jericho, he did get a taste of his own medicine with CM Punk flipping the script on him. He came out there, didn't say a word at all, and yes, CM Punk, he did make a name with the big pipe bomb and things like that. But it was a great moment for me. It was kind of a little tease, because we all know, looking at the years that these guys have spent in WWE, they're great in the ring. And of course, we're going to get to a point where we see CM Punk versus Chris Jericho one-on-one in the ring. They're both great on the mic also. And we're going to get to that point where we have that duel with them, with the dueling promos and things like this. But this was a great tease. And I thought they did a pretty good job. With CM Punk, he comes out there and he says, basically, to Chris Jericho, without saying a word at all, no matter, screw all of this bullshit you're talking about, I'm the WWE champion. Yeah, it doesn't matter what I print on the back of my t-shirts. It doesn't matter what you call yourself. This says all that needs to be said. So with that being said, there's been a lot of questions out there as to whether, if these guys face each other at WrestleMania, Will it be for the title? Will it be for the WWE Championship? What do you guys think about that? Do you think this match needs to have the WWE Championship involved in it?
Absolutely. Why would you have a duel to see who's the best in the world if the thing that technically signifies who is the best in the world is not involved? I just don't understand why that would be the stipulation.
While I agree with Charlie, I don't think it's an absolute necessity that they need a title on the line. I mean, the real important thing is, like Charlie said, it's the best in the world. And if you're holding the WWE Championship, the best in the world. Well, that's what it's supposed to mean. But, they can just have a grudge-like feud. With CM Punk and Randy Orton obviously didn't need a title. It was a grudge type of feud, As far as what Chris Jericho is talking about, he really didn't even mention the WWE Championship until he picked it up and sat and he mocked CM Punk doing the Indian-style sitting. I think this is just about me. Like, Chris Jericho is just saying, I want my title back. I want to be the best in the world. You come out here and you're a fraud, so-and-so, so-and-so. I just think this is about a title rather than the championship belt.
Well, you know what the championship belt is?
A title.
Exactly.
But I didn't mean it like that. I meant, best in the world, the tagline. I think this is more about, who's the better man.
Well, Stu, what are your thoughts on the matter?
Okay, so it's about a trademark. That's knowing WWE, that would probably pass as a storyline, but whatever. It'd pass even more in TNA. They'd make that the main event. But honestly, I do believe that that these guys, it wouldn't make any sense for this thing about the best wrestler in the world, Punk or Jericho, when they both used that line when Jericho was back doing his heel thing back in the late 2000s, saying that he was the best in the world at what he does, and now CM Punk saying he's the best wrestler in the world. Basically the same thing, a little bit different phrasing, but it wouldn't make any sense for the title not to be on the line. This is at least assuming that Punk is going into WrestleMania with the title. So that being said, saying that it would make absolutely no sense, I do not put it out of the question for WWE to do that, because let's face it, they have done much, much stupider than this at WrestleMania.
Charlie has brought up many times over the last couple of months on PWTR that with John Cena versus The Rock being booked for WrestleMania, this allows WWE a lot of experimentation as to what they can do with the WrestleMania card and what they can do with the World Championships and things like that. But I think that one moment of CM Punk not saying a word at all, and we know CM Punk, he loves to talk. He absolutely loves to talk. And he comes out there and holds up the WWE Championship and says, this is all that needs to be said. That moment right there showed that this feud has to be over the WWE Championship. I think it means more than just that best in the world, phrase right there, because the championship provides validity to that phrase. And if I'm being completely honest, I don't want a feud on the basis of best in the world when you have two other dudes at WrestleMania fighting over the fucking championship. I don't want to see that. As a fan, I really don't. And I would like to see other people get opportunities and things like that. But I believe that it makes more sense for this feud to be for the WWE Championship. So I would expect, either Chris Jericho or CM Punk to win the WWE Championship in the Elimination Chamber and go on to face each other for the title at WrestleMania.
I mean, it does make a lot of sense, especially now that I think about it with Chris Jericho mocking Punk with the title. But you also have to remember, take into consideration that out of all the feuds that people's had, Stone Cold versus Bret Hart in 1997 was a perfect example. It was supposed to be for the title. Honestly, I don't even know how the hell Austin won the Royal Rumble and still didn't get his championship opportunity at WrestleMania. But look at what happened there. Austin was still put over despite the fact, and he even lost, and he was still put over. In fact, he probably turned into the face of the company by then. So I don't think it's absolutely necessary, but it does help the feud.
For me, I just don't think that you can do this feud without it. I think that if you do this feud without it, then whoever's fighting over the belt can say they're the best in the world, and this feud means nothing. So,
yeah, isn't that? I mean, even CM Punk himself said that the belt proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that he is the best professional wrestler that this planet had to offer. That was the deal. So I don't think that not having it for the belt would make much sense. But again, Knowing WWE, they'll probably do something where CM Punk loses the belt, so it's just Punk versus Jericho for the best in the world. At that case, you might as well make it for Hulk Hogan's Hall of Fame ring, because the best in the world moniker means absolutely nothing.
You know, when I think more about it, if they do have it for the championship, another person can be put over. If they were to have a Money in the Bank championship match, like it's being rumored, somebody can just cash in on Punk even though he won, and it would put somebody over as a top heel. So probably Dolph Ziggler would probably win that, or maybe Wade Barrett. But there's a lot more opportunities to put people over the championship on the line.
Yeah, it'll put someone over like a top heel like Swagger and Del Rio. That's always worked in the past.
Yeah, let's just look at it from your point of view, David. Okay, we're trying to think of this as an opportunity to put more people over. What would put more people over? Having a Money in the Bank match at WrestleMania where the guy just cashes it in at WrestleMania, or would it be having two matches, still continuing this bullcrap illusion of brand separation for the Raw and SmackDown titles? Having this thing for the world heavyweight and WWE championships at Money in the Bank. There you're putting two people over as world champions. Whether or not one would be more effective than the other is irrelevant. You're talking about quantity of people being put over. So what would be more effective in doing that?
Well, I always say quality over quantity, but
WWE doesn't. So there.
Yeah, this is a big point in this whole discussion, because we're talking about what would make sense. Well, currently WWE has a disco dinosaur running around, and that shit doesn't really make sense either. So who the hell knows? Really, who knows what WWE is going to decide in the matter? But I think David, have we sold you on the idea of this match being for the championship?
God help me, another month of CM Punk as WWE Championship.
Just to point out, Extreme Rules is in Chicago.
Yeah.
I'm about to bang my head on a table.
Pro Wrestling Talk Radio, the show where wrestling fans rate and debate the hottest topics in the world of wrestling in a respectful.
There's nothing new that I can say about Dolph Ziggler. I'll just say that his character has grown on me the same way that a tumor grows on a fucking brain. Forget this guy.
And courteous manner. Come on now. I liked the Divas match at a pay-per-view a couple of months ago, and y'all wanted to send me to a fucking mental institution.
We still do.
Well, hell, after all of this, y'all will be joining me there, so at least I'll have a little bit of company. So make sure you tune into Pro Wrestling Talk Radio, live Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern on PWFempire.com for some good, wholesome fun.
Absolutely ridiculous. This feud is so stupid. No, I don't even care if it's your opinion. What moron would like this feud?
Me?
Oh, sorry.